Alright, so today I'm going to replace my starter on the Force, Mercury Force, and what I have here is a couple of old ones. This one and this one are old, and this is a new aftermarket replacement. Right away there's some differences, this being the biggest difference. This ring should fit inside the mounting on the engine itself, whereas my old one was just flat on the top here. This one may or may not be for my model, but it's worked. It's what was on there when I bought it. It's what I put on there after I bought it, and what I put on there when I needed a replacement for that one. I emailed the seller of this one, and he said this is just a new design. This one actually makes more sense, because if this ring does in fact fit where I think it should, it'll kind of stabilize the starter, whereas in this model, if these aren't tightened in sync with each other, or if anything is slightly bent, you can get some real problems with this here getting caught on the flywheel. You'll notice this has the spring down, and this one is kind of stuck in place. And over here you see where the flywheel's actually been, it's actually been digging in and eating into this, and you'll notice that the screws come undone up here. So I guess what happened is somehow the screw got loose over time, and the starter went, this went higher than it should be, and the flywheel was just eating into it, and now it's jammed up. This was actually a mutation of this original starter with bushings from this starter. This is what happens when your starter gets really way too hot. These bushings should be in place like this, but what happens is this little interior housing here, this black, this is plastic. So when you overwork your starter, you see here, the plastic starts to melt, and then your bushings get all out of whack. This is frozen, melted sideways. This one's just loose, nowhere for that to go. You just see the spring there, the bushings are spring loaded, the spring is just melted in there. So I actually wound up taking one of the springs out of here and putting it in to a place in here. When this one, I lost the spring when I took it apart. Something else that goes wrong with these is, you see this, all these holes here, all these indentations, doesn't go around on every single one of them. That's not factory. What happens is these wires break loose and get caught up in here, and while they spin in here, this is all one big magnet. So when this spins in here, see how it just pulls itself in there? When it spins in there, these loose wires got nowhere to go, and they also get hot, and they eventually just melt right in. So I think this motor is actually still good and usable, but between bad bushings and that, and I broke off the wire that was loose, but it'll keep unraveling. Here it is, I tucked it in here, but this will just continue to unravel as you use the starter. I broke it off and wrapped it around, tucked it in, wrapped it around, but see, like the end here would fit perfectly in there, see that? But this isn't the piece that was in there. There was another piece of wire in there that I since thrown away, and here's another. As I'm looking at it, here's another broken one. So this is trash. You don't want to get stuck out on the water because of a crappy starter. It's not an expensive part, and it's very easy to replace. So that one's no good. This is no good. It might be repairable. I might be able to put this on here if it's worth it, if the motor's good. But we're gonna try this here and put this on. This is just a dust cover, but it's got this groove in it. It's got this groove in it here that fits into this little channel here, and it actually shouldn't come into contact with anything, so I'm going to leave it on there. It won't fly off. If anything, it'll just hopefully protect these a little from corrosion or whatever. Not that that's a major concern, because these used old things never got corroded. but it came on there and it's got a fitting for it, so I'm gonna leave it on there. It won't fly off, and the starter's not meant to get hot, especially up here. If it does get hot, it would be down here. Another nice thing about this, the last 2 starters I bought didn't have these nuts, and I think I did a return or a trade with my old starter, and I gave these 2 nuts with them, and when I bought new starters, it didn't come with them, so I had to go and find the right sizes. So it came with those, and it came with a new one here, and this was only 80 bucks including shipping on eBay, so that's actually a really good deal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it on. It's only going to take a couple minutes, and you'll see how easy it is, and that'll be that. So here we go. These are, I believe, a 10mm, so I got a 10mm set up already. Alright, so let's go to the engine. See, now this is what I was talking about. This hole here, the new starter's got this space on here, so that should, well, it doesn't look like it's going to be a real tight squeeze, but it should be, I would think they would make it real tight to stabilize it, but it actually, now that I have them side by side, it doesn't look like it will. But that's it. Take your starter. Let's see. Slide it up. No, it's not perfectly tight. There's still some wobble room in there. So we'll just get our nuts on there now and hook up the cable. Also hook up the battery cable first. Actually, what I did with this was the negative that goes to the solenoid. I put a washer underneath it because it's a really big hole there, and that nut doesn't seem to do it justice. So let me grab the washer off the other starter. I think with the washer, it definitely seems to make a better connection. So take your cable, slap it on, put my washer on, and this is just, if you have cables that have a smaller hole, you probably don't need that, but this is just an extra step I do here. Keep a better connection. A lot of times the starter problem is just as simple as a dirty connection on a battery, or a dirty connection on a starter, or a loose connection somewhere, and that little washer makes the connection a lot better. You slide that up in there. You could probably afford to have a washer here and here too, but I don't have any right now on here. I've actually never had any on here. It's probably not a really bad idea though. That's it, and if you don't have a deep socket, just throw that on there first. And then tighten it down. Oh, I should have showed you the difference between the new one, running a test on the new one and the old one, but we're not actually going to start it today because I need to tighten down the rest of these bolts on here because I've been working on the whole engine. So that's it really for today.